there's not a lot of male dental hygienists out there. And you know that's something that we should take back, guys. You know, like what's wrong? You know, well, you don't want me to put my big hands in your mouth.
Yeah. So you think it's some homophobia related to dental hygienists?
No, I'm just saying. I was just
get your big man hands.
No, it's just I gotta go to the dentist, and I'm thinking about the fact that I hate this dental hygienist I went to last time. She was like this evil person, man. Like, she never sucked my mouth dry or nothing, man. Like, and I'm sitting there just
gotta
like,
be a better way to say that.
I gotta.
All right, gun to your head.
Uh-oh.
Improv and stand up.
Damn, I mean, I'm bad at that, man. Bang!
You just did.
You got this man killed. You just got him killed.
I like them both, man. I like them both for completely different reasons, man. I mean, maybe it's stand up, but it's good stand up when I'm doing improv, when I'm doing stand up. You know, like that's the place I've always wanted to get. Where I feel like I'm finally finding it now. Where like last couple times up at Kazi's that I've been able to do some longer time. Just to have those jokes that you know are your jokes, but then to be able to just kind of really just, if you're laughing at that, then let's talk about it and like go off and make up some stuff along the way. Like, so, but that's that improv coming through in the stand-up, you know?
Yeah.
So stand-up's great because it's just you too, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to really, the ego's involved in that too because you're not really sharing it with anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Improv, like for me, improv, the number one rule of improv is if either one of us is doing improv, then I care more about you than I care about myself. Like, because that's how that becomes successful. Because you need to be able to trust me and I need to be able to trust you. So if you make some idea, suggestion, say something, do something, then I need to support it so that it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, we all know that improv is way more unselfish than stand-up.
Yeah, I mean.
We know that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel guilty that I prefer stand-up for that reason. But I will say that, like, okay, the reason why I like stand-up, I think the ego's definitely there. I'm not going to front on that part.
Yeah.
But I think I was a film guy. And the stress of trying to organize crews and get people together to get for one common cause is like I got tired of doing it.
Yeah.
That have you ever noticed that, like, okay, for example, if I have a joke and I write it from a place of anger, like something that angers me, while I'm hot about it, the joke kills.
Yeah.
But by doing the joke, it helps the healing process.
It's true.
And then when I'm not as angry about it, the joke falls flat.
Well, it's like
It's like people like I don't believe you. I don't really believe you're that upset about fake Newtons.
See, that's funny.
You know, it's something stupid. You know what I mean?
Well, it's true because it gets it exercises the demons almost, right?
Yeah.
My little brother said that about Eminem when he first came out because Eminem first came out, he was angry as hell, right? And everything was this evil stuff. He was, it was good, and we were listening to it, whatever. And then a couple albums, and he just like pedaled out. He's like, it's because he got it off his chest, man.
Yeah.
He feels better.
He feels better now.
Like,
Now he's chilling. You know?
Now I don't want to listen anymore.
You know?
Like, so is mental health the enemy of artistic expression? Do you think?
Artistic ability, emotional and mental state. That's 100%.
You can't create art
Yeah,
if you're healthy.
You got to stay broken if you want to be great.
But no, I know. Like right now, you were talking about your like approach to life.
Yeah.
And like how you're deciding how you want to approach opportunities and how you want to look, like your overall outlook. Do you remember talking to me about that?
No, yeah, for sure. I'm trying to adopt this philosophy right now where it's just like, I'm trying to just say that everything is, what if everything's exactly the way it's supposed to be, you know? Because I told you about like the lottery and I had this thing and I was feeling like I was so pumped to get the job and I only got the job because of my stand-up and my improv and all those things that I was doing. That's what made me attractive to them. And then they gave me the job. I was like, okay, now don't do those things that made us attractive to you anymore. You know what I mean? So you only get to do it for us in the scenarios that we create for you, which all sucked. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they were whack. They were whack as hell. So I'm like, it's easy for me. I mean, I've certainly looked back at some of that stuff and like, damn, why did I, what was I thinking, man? I should have jumped then. Why didn't I jump then?
Right.
Yeah.
And all those sorts of things. But man, I've gotten so caught in thinking about stuff in the past. And I mean, it still comes up. I mean, I'm not, trust me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I'm just trying to be like, but what if it's all exactly the way it's supposed to be, right? Because you hear about people, I mean, people make it whenever. I mean, Leslie Jones, let's talk about Leslie Jones for a second. She's 50-some years old, right? On SNL.
She's older.
Well, she used to
was
book me at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room. So
Okay.
she would book me all the time when I was out there doing it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one day, years later, I flip on the TV and there she is on SNL, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Leslie, you
Right.
know?
It's
And
a
it's
lot
like, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say just a lot of examples of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Morgan Freemans, your Samuel Jacksons,
Right.
like
Yeah.
a lot of people, they don't get their first break until they're over 40.
No. And some of them don't even turn to it until they're like in their third, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what if, just for fun as a thought experiment, I started to say, what if what if I've made all the right calls for me?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I agree with that perspective because I used to think similarly about my initial, when I first started doing stand-up, it was like in the early 2000s, right? Before I got married, I was single, doing stand-up in New Orleans. And then Hurricane Katrina kind of pushed me out to Houston, and I was doing it out there. And then I kind of stopped doing it because I got married, started having kids. And, I mean, with the wealth of experience that came with that, and then when I started back, I had a whole lot of stuff to talk about when I started doing it again. And things just kind of, when I was in Texas, it just started picking up really fast. I was getting booked on all kinds of shows.
Yeah.
And I look back at that, I used to think, man, if I had just kept doing it like from 2005, 2000, and just never stopped, where would I, that used to come to my mind, but it would always feel like it was something that was actually holding me down to think like that.
Well, it is, but it is.
Yeah, so I gave up on it. I was like, well, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. Like, I made the right decisions.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on that. That's pretty much the same perspective I have on it. Like,
That's
I'm where
awesome.
I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
right now.
I think it's like, it seems like so simple, and I'm sure it's been said 1,000 times before by many different people.
Yeah.
But like when you find it for yourself, it's kind of like this. I'm like, okay. I mean, like the other day, it was like I said, it still pop up sometimes because I do a lot of stuff, and sometimes I find myself being like, oh my God, why did I say I was going to do all these things? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then those little thoughts start to creep in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I don't like this feeling. And you're like, oh, that's because I'm doing all that dumb stuff that I used to do in my head.
Yeah.
So then you got to be like, okay, just remember, what if it's all... Because everybody's doing every single person. This is the craziest thing, too, once you realize this, that every single person, when you meet them in the world, they're all doing the very best that they possibly can at that moment. Mm-hmm. Now, even if they're like... So then you might say, well, what about the kid on the team that the coach knows he's better than what he's doing, but he's shuffling his feet right now, right? Well, but the thing is that kid's got something that's preventing him from wanting to give it 100%, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. But that's still 100% of what he can give at that given moment, right? So that's such a crazy, like, it's like a mental fractal almost. You know, a fractal is like no matter how far out or in, it still looks exactly the same.
Yeah. No, I don't know what a fractal is.
You don't know what
So you're going to have to define that for me, sir. I want to pretend like I know so I can look intelligent, but I don't know what a fractal.
If you see these crazy designs, they're like the weird, like, almost looks like a geometrical pattern, you know, and sometimes it's like a spiral, you know, like the Fibonacci sequence, you know what that is? Like where it's just like 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 1 is 3, 3 + 2 is 5, 5 + 3 is 8. So it's like this weird, like it adds the next number and gets bigger. And it looks like the spiral that goes out and out and out. It's like a Nautilus shell, you know? So those are like, I think somebody could tell me I'm wrong. I mean, I kind of understand those as sort of like fractal patterns. These are like these mathematical patterns that repeat in nature all the time.
Right.
So that's the way that, like, if you look at a pine cone, that's the way a pine, the individual
prickly
thing, yeah, or like an
yeah.
or a artichoke, the way the artichoke
Yeah.
pieces. So that's how they grow. That's the pattern that's growing around it and stuff like that. And so those things are found all throughout nature, you know. But those are the things that, like, we all, and they're in our bodies. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the closer you look, it still looks the same.
Right. The one thing that isn't in nature, I've been told, is a straight line, though.
Oh, really? There's no such thing as a straight line?
That shape doesn't exist in nature.
That's probably true.
Which actually would make sense and coincide with everything that you're saying.
Right.
We always thinking about, why did I go from 2005 until now?
Right.
Why did I take these detours with this and that?
Because there's
but in nature,
right.
there is no straight line.
Which is probably why time is our problem, because we see time as a straight line, and that's a problem.
But we also see life as like a video game.
Right.
Like, we look at life like, I beat this level, so why am I still encountering the same boss? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
I think I wanted to disagree just to make the podcast interesting, but I do agree with your perspective as well.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, I think the dangerous thing with the mindset, like you said, like, I don't think we ever arrive.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I mean by the video game mindset. Like, we're always evolving, we're always changing, we're always growing. The danger that I think we all face is we're always comparing ourselves to a version of ourselves that existed before.
Yeah, but doesn't exist
now.
Yeah, like when I used to have a six pack.
Right.
That version of me.
Right. So
I used to have one of those.
It was cool. I used to like to look at it.
Yeah, I used to have
nice
like,
while
you
it
see
lasted.
that?
While it lasted.
that
was
version
cool.
of me was awesome.
Now we do these comparisons that aren't fair because we think about, oh, when I was 21, such and such and such and such. Well, you hadn't worked yet. You didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
You weren't married.
Yeah,
You didn't have the responsibilities of the bills or the obstacles that you had to over. Like, you're different, and you can't. There is no putting yourself back.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's been said many times, many ways.
Merry Christmas.
But yes, there's plenty of, like, okay, so my worldview or the way I typically see things, I usually have a biblical worldview. So I know there's scripture that coincides with that.
Right.
They say, like, forget the things that are behind you.
For sure.
Yeah.
And reach forward to what is before you.
No, it's wild. It's all there in so many different. I mean, it's weird. Like, the more you really try to pay attention to that sort of stuff, you hear it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Across multiple platforms.
Yeah. Different beliefs.
I mean? Like,
a lot of beliefs, cultures
yeah.
are saying the same kind of things with different language. Yes.
So you just, yeah. And it's just wild, man. I don't know. I just think that art is wild. I feel like being an artist to me is a very noble choice. Okay. And that's, to me, it's because it doesn't take too many resources to do it. I mean, there's a lot of, it's nice that somebody could build me a house or a car, all that sort of stuff. But something about, like, creating, I'm taking nothing. I'm taking an idea, right? And stand up for sure. I'm taking an idea, and then I'm just going to talk to you and convey this to you, and we're going to share an experience. I'm going to make you forget about something. We're going to have a laugh.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is a very noble pursuit. Yeah. And somebody who wants to paint or something, there's very few resources coming into, like, this to create something that, depending who's looking at it or where it's placed, it creates a different feeling for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And I just think that that's so cool, because it's like, it is like this pulling something out of nowhere, the ether almost. I don't know. I really dig that about it.
I think, to go even further on that, and I'm not even going to, I know this isn't going to make it in the podcast, but I just want to speak on it because we're on it.
Yeah.
But I believe in that so deeply that I think that there's an attack, like the eradication of the arts, I believe is actually evil.
I agree.
And I believe, so like when the schools will say, we can make time for math, but we have to get rid of music programs and art programs and everything like that.
Whack.
Or even AI doing what it's doing now, which,
I know, like
which
doing the work for you,
eradicating the need for. I think we're headed. I think that's a reflection of a dystopian society.
Well, and that's the thing, though, man. It's like, and what you said earlier about getting rid of like the arts and stuff like that. It's like, a culture. When the culture's gone, what do we have that's left of them? Usually,
It's
it's their art,
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody that comes on, I want to do a segment called "Sit Down to Stand Up."
Okay.
Sit down to stand up is basically if you have a new bit or idea,
Okay.
we want to workshop it live with you on the podcast.
Okay.
I don't know if you had anything related
I
to
know-
some of the stuff you were talking
Well,
about
yeah,
or just
let me-
period. But
I wrote this down last night. I don't know. This is funny, man. But I was just like, I said, hold on. Where did I write it? You tell me if this is a bit, man. All right. There's not a lot of male dental hygienists out there. and that's something that we should take back, guys. Like what's wrong? Well, you don't want me to put my big hands in your mouth.
yeah, so you think it's some homophobia related to dental hygienists?
No, I'm just saying.
I want my fingers
Get
in
your
your
big
mouth.
man hands.
No, it's just I gotta go to the dentist, and I'm thinking about the fact that I hate this dental hygienist I went to last time. She was like this evil person, man. Like,
Yeah.
she never sucked my mouth dry or nothing, man. Like, and I'm sitting there just
Gotta
like,
be a better way to say that.
I got man.
Pause.
I was distressed.
Yeah, okay.
But I was like, she was horrible, man. Not to mention, she had on a face shield, a head wrap, and a mask. And I was like, when you present yourself like that to me, I think that I'm going to get something from you. That's what I think.
And what you get is not sucked dry.
No. I mean, look.
Thank you.
look.
We're trying to get sponsors here on Jokeaday Podcast. All you potential sponsors, listen up.
So you can say, like, well, damn, man, I guess I would like a dental hygienist if she sucked me dry, too,
Sounds like sex work. Definitely in the oral region,
That,
but
that little sucker thing,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
The little
But I was
thing.
like, I've never had a male. I mean, I've never seen a male.
I've never seen
Dental
a male
hygienist.
dental hygienist either. Have
know?
you ever seen one?
No.
I mean, how about that glass ceiling? You know what I'm saying?
Like, what? Yeah.
I mean, I'm just for real.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I mean,
that's fair.
because remember when it was a big thing about nurse? Like, it was always when
Male
we were
nurse.
coming up when we were little. It was
Yeah.
always like nurse. They would ask you draw a nurse, draw a doctor, and you
Right.
draw if you drew a man for a doctor and a woman for a nurse. It was like that's what's wrong with everything.
It's just making me think, what are some other professions
Where they're only women.
that you don't see men in traditionally, too? I was trying to think of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because of
There's no male nuns. That's
Well,
whack.
That's because
I'm just saying, man.
Right.
Like, why
No,
not?
no.
Why do I have no male nuns?
What's up with this?
there are none.
What's wrong with it?
There
There are none. Yeah. But that's wild. I'm trying to think.
Like I said, I don't know that it was much of a premise. I just thought it was.
No, it is a good premise.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a solid joke. And I'm saying that I think it's got legs. I just saying that you got the room to play with. What
Yeah.
obvious is the wherever your imagination takes you is the reasons why.
Well, I feel like you would. I feel like if I was trying to put something together for 5 minutes tonight, right? You'd be like, take that and then start talking about what we were talking about before and how, like, which is what we're doing. Like, what are the other opportunities for, you see things being whatever.
I got something.
All right.
I think another way to play with it would be like, how so you remember the movie Daddy Daycare?
Yes.
Okay, so the movie Daddy Daycare, when they first try to pitch the idea, and they're out like with the lemonade stand thing on the front lawn saying that they're opening Daddy Daycare, the moms that are coming are like, they're men?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
they're disgusted by the idea
Yeah,
that men
yeah.
are going to take care of their children.
Yeah, that's right.
And I kind of feel like a male dental hygienist would run into the same thing in a job interview. Like, he'll go for the job and the dentist will be like, why? Like, you want to do what? Like, you don't want to just be a dentist, man? Put on your big boy pants, man. What are you doing?
man, you can't be a dentist.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
This
do you-
job-
why
I think-
are you
yeah.
doing that? No, I just want to be a
And I'm
hygienist. That's
thinking
it.
about how they have all these programs for like getting women in STEM fields. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, should there be programs
To get men.
to get more men? Yeah, like, wow, like, come on, man, get some men in hygiene, like, you know,
For real.
like, yeah.
I mean, let's
we
do
can
it.
start some programs.
Yeah, we need some.
Like that.
Encourage our boys. You know what I'm saying?
I had something. I had something locked and loaded that I wanted, and I can't, and it slipped. But you did make you gonna make me think about that now. My mind is gonna go down that rabbit hole of the other positions where you want, because that, I mean, for real, like I could definitely, without a doubt, say I've never seen a male
ever.
Yeah. But I don't think we should. I mean, I don't know if we should, because like men, like I'm just saying.
That's another place.
Like,
You know, we should.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a guy. I like that term.
Just off the simple fact that like how men are with each other. Like, could you imagine if I was your dental hygienist?
Right.
Like, I would be roasting you the whole time.
You're like, damn.
Get dirty mouth. Look at this boy. I'm like,
I think
no, you can't, like, you don't, like, you never seen floss? Like, what's going on with you, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we tell each other.
I think it would prompt the male insecurity too, just even before you even get started. Hey, bro, open up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What you saying to
Like, all right, put the glasses on and just open up your mouth.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
Like,
like, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Hey, spit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right, now I'm gonna suck you dry.
There he goes.
That's exactly how men talk to each other. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gonna have a dude over you saying, open your mouth.
Open up, man.
Stick my finger in there. See what.
And that'd be funny. That's what you do. You do. You get a guy. That's like a sketch comedy. You get a guy that wants to be a dental hygienist, and someone's gonna hire him, and they're like, I don't know, man. You know,
dude.
He's like, you trusted me my whole life. He's like, and he puts his hands on the table. He's got little baby hands.
Yeah, they're like, oh. They're like, oh my God, you're born for this. You're the one.
Like you Neo.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to open very wide. I can get my tiny hands in there. Don't worry.
Even that everything just sounds gross when a guy says it.
It does.
When a guy says it, that's it. When a guy says everything that you have, all the commands you have to give as a dental hygienist sound disgusting when a man says it.
Man.
No male dental hygienist. I don't know. It's weird.
That's good, man.
Right.
That's
Keep it
good.
that way.
Well, look, thank you for taking the time to be on the show,
Thanks
man.
for asking me to be on the show.
This is fun.
great.
This is
I
fun.
enjoyed
This is fun.
Since you are restored now with your social media presence, why don't you tell people where to find you?
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so Jason_Kypros on Instagram or Jason Kypros on Facebook. And really, that's it. You go to jasonkypros.com on my website, which is kind of always being tweaked. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to check out Plan B Comedy, you can go to planbcomedy.com.
David, tell the people where to find you.
DavidGriffinComedy.com, David Griffin Comedy on Instagram, David Griffin on Facebook, Coffee and Beignets YouTube channel. It's me and my wife talking at each other.
Nice.
Okay, and I'm Lionel Harris, LionelHarris.com. Jokeaday podcast on social media. But yeah, there are links to all my stuff from LionelHarris.com. Thank you again for checking out the show. And as usual, bye.
Listen to everybody, man.